even when I was mad at when we was coming up, right? When we started the New West movement, um, Cube and then was mad at me, and they were mad at me, right? Because
for this.
I started a movement that really empowered new artists because I felt like we didn't have a connection to the legacy acts, and everybody would always ask us. So I started a movement to empower a bunch of new people. It wasn't about being anti anything. It was just pro this thing. It was just pro this way we wanted to do our thing.
Time about you giving them a sugarcoat version of this. Wasn't you saying that the old heads wasn't doing anything for the young people to bring them in?
I didn't never say that.
Oh, what was it then? What was the problem then?
Well, I'm saying that became the sentiment of people.
You didn't say it, but that's what people started feeling.
That's how other people started to. Okay, so when we start the New West, it's me, Bishop, and Mike Stroh. That's who's at the center of the New West. These is the first rappers that I really met from like that. Because I'm from the street, so I didn't know rappers like that. I didn't really know nobody like that. I knew gangbangers or with lowriders or street racers or people that come from the streets. The first rappers that I met was Mike Stroh, which is Battle Cat's little brother, and Bishop Lamont, who was like this incredible record writer, like that. He was just like this unbelievable talent. You know what I mean? And they was my boys. I knew Game, right? Game was somebody, but Game was already in the middle of he was on the verge of he was about to blow up, right? So I'm messing with 4 Cent, right? But 4 Cent from West Side, he a gangbanger. 4 Cent from West Side, Paru. So I knew him as a rapper, but he's a gang member. And 4 Cent introduced me to Face, and then Face introduced me to Game. But Game was already, I think they had just finished the video for Certified Gangsters. And that shit was like already, so he was already finna blow up. You know what I mean? Bishop and Mike Stroh were my boys that we was coming up together. Chuck was already there. Like he was on the verge. And we started the New West because really no veterans would really, we would go to interviews and people would always ask us, well, what's going to happen? When do you get with Dre? When do you get with Cube? And you like, shit, I don't know these people. You know what I mean? Like we grew up to them just like you. And, I had popped a deal, right? The shit cracked off. I got a deal. Boom. So we start saying New West. That was our movement, me and my homeboys. J-Rock was a nigga that, we met early. Boom. So then it was Rock. Then Dot was this kid getting out of high school, you know what I mean? But he was like 17, 18 years old, but he wasn't, he didn't quite understand why we was on what we was on. He was like this little kid. To this day, he really don't understand the New West.
But the old veterans, they didn't like that.
So now it's on their radar. Now it's on their radar because now we all getting deals. We getting big money. We coming through the city in Bentleys and Porsches. Like niggas is talking about us now. Like it went from just being rap to like a real movement in the street. So every rapper that's somebody coming up, they're aligning with us because the veterans ain't really signing nobody. You know what I mean? So they aligning with us. So it's people who they was fucking with already that had problems with them. Like Topic had a problem with Dub C. I didn't know. I just knew Topic was dope. You know what I mean? And he wanted to fuck with us. So we like, yeah, you can rock with us. So, but Topic had problems with Dub C. Different people had their own problems with veterans. So then we absorb all of the problems. So if somebody said something, then I did this conversation with Joe Budden. And it wasn't really like a public conversation. Like none of us knew what streaming was at that time. None of us knew what podcasting was. This is 2010. Joe Budden used to open his laptop. I didn't even know this, but he used to open his laptop and just be talking. I'm not knowing that there's fans on the other end watching him. It's 2010, King. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn.
So what you say, though, that became controversial?
The thing became, he's explaining to me why he was mad at Wu-Tang. So at that time, the Wu-Tang niggas had one of the niggas or two of the niggas, I forgot, we was right there. But they kind of jumped on him. They punched on Joe. Right? The Wu-Tang niggas punched on Joe. And it was out here. It was in the IE. It was on the West. and they punched on him. But none of us really know, bro. Only one that we Crooked was our boy, and Crooked wasn't hurt, so none of us tripped because it was, that's between some niggas from the East Coast. Like niggas is minding their business. You know what I mean? Like nigga. So I didn't realize, and I knew it was Joe, and I had met Joe. We had already kind of, had some differences because Joe talked crazy all the time. But we was on tour, so we're talking about it. He's telling me his issue with them. And I started to tell him a story. He was saying how he felt like when he met somebody he looked up to, it wasn't quite as advertised. And I was explaining to him how that happened to me before. Somehow within that conversation, it became as if Cube felt like I was dissing him.
Oh, that's the Cube story.
Yes. Okay. But this is the whole microcosm of what the New West and the whole thing was.
Okay.
So Cube, now remember I'm signed to Mac 10. So him and Mac got problems. Mind you, I don't have songs really, dissing Cube. Like I don't got songs dissing Cube like that.
He comes after you though, right?
Sure. But I always had this really healthy respect, exactly, at the Paid Dues Festival. Shout out to y'all. I had this healthy, it's Ice Cube, bro. I'm a fan. That's just straight up and down. I'm a fan of Ice Cube, but if Ice Cube put out a block of ice, I wouldn't lick ice.
Yeah.
So let's just start there, because this is where we're going. But I'm a huge fan of Ice Cube, but I'm not licking no ice for cuz or no fucking body else. So all this weird shit niggas is talking about, nigga, I love Ice Cube, nigga. I'm not licking no ice. Fuck all that. So Cube heard it, got mad. He got on an interview, man, fuck these other niggas think I'm scared of them. And bro, nobody said that. Fool, you're Ice Cube. That's not what we saying. But anyway, the conversation got loose. So then he started putting out songs, and he was saying like dissing me. And I'm looking more like I'm really street at the time. So I'm like, cuz like this is Ice Cube, bro. Like, I'm not finna diss Ice Cube, cuz it's, I got too much. It's Ice Cube, bro. Like, nigga, you raised me in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? There is no way possible I'm finna diss Ice Cube, bro. Like, Ice Cube raised me. It just sounds stupid. And that's always been my thought.
You don't really, I can understand you not dissing nobody, but where did the miscommunication come in?
Because he thought I was dissing him because I was with Mac 10.
Just because you was with Mac 10?
Yes. See, I didn't really realize they shit was, I don't think they shit is bad now. I think they overselling it. They got their problems, but that's his deal. Mac 10 is Ice Cube's protege. His protege, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not really that deep into what was going on at the time. But long story short, I say that to say that with Ice Cube, like I just wouldn't diss Ice Cube.